All right, girls, let's have a little walk here. Lydia, you're going to be my trailblazer here. We're just going to warm up here, and our goal is, because I know it's still pretty early in the season and they haven't been jumping a ton, so our plan for today is to warm them up, kind of get them feeling good, and then when we start to jump them, we're kind of checking their rideability. Yeah, just make sure that they are listening, that they can turn, that they can just follow our aids, and hopefully just try to get them feeling a little bit easier to ride to some jumps by the end. So to start with, first things first, I want to just have a little feel of the canter and just your half halt and being able to keep a straight line. So we're going to use put 2 poles out there on that other side there, just really straightforward. I'd like you to pick up a canter and canter from one pole to another. We're going to repeat that a couple of times. I may ask you to adjust the number of strides. I may have you put the canter together and do an extra stride. So let's say you do it in 5. I may have you do it in 6. I like to start with something like this, particularly if I haven't been jumping a lot, which we're all probably in that same boat right now. Just practicing getting the horse accurate to a pole on the ground is a great way to just kind of get your eye in. And then what I'll also have you add in, once you've done this a couple times, change direction, I may add in the little bounce here as well, okay? And in the bounce, I'm just looking to see you follow the position really well. So girls, the other girls that are walking around, just be mindful of that so that you don't get crashed into. Lydia, let's start in your left canter and let's come around and go up our little line of rainbow poles here a couple times. And then once we've done with that, we'll change direction. I'll do my best to try to keep you moving around, but we'll try to not have it be good. Good, let's find our little left canter here. Nice. That's okay. She'll start to come around as you do it more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Good. Just fix your canter there, Lydia, and then let's try to ride her a little bit deeper into this short side. I know she's a bit suspicious. Put your inside leg on here as best you can. Let's get 6 strides again if you can. Let's get 6 strides again. Oh, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that was 5. You're going to get the 6 now that she started to loosen up a little bit. You're going to have to compress the horse a little more. Don't think so much slow down, speed up. Think more compress, extend. Yeah? Compress the horse. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Atta girl. Okay, and now you're allowed to extend the horse slightly and get 5 again, okay? They always feel a little bit rough with their forward and back at the very beginning, but then obviously as they limber up, it gets a little easier. Good, so we're just going to open up our eye and we're going to get our 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, I'll give it to her. Okay, Lydia, do me a favor and change direction across the arena somewhere. Maybe across the middle here is easiest. Good. And then I'd like to see you get 6 strides off the right rein down the other direction. And then after that, make a right and then go pop through your little bounce. Okay? So 6 to start with. We're heading back towards the barn now, so we may need to do a little bit more compression in the turn. Look where you want to go. Compress. Oh, top ride. Compress. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5.5, hey? Let's try that one more time. So try to be a little bit more specific about where you want to end up on those front feet. I know she gets a little scattery in her canter at times, but it's your job to really teach her, hey, you got to stay with me. Stay underneath me. I know it's hard work. Oh, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'll give it to you. Perfect. And now your little bounce here, Lydia. Just eyes up and grab a little mane if you need. Good. Nice. Good. One more time to your bounce. You can go around these poles now. You're done with the poles. Good. That's it. That's a go. Good distance. Nice. Good. Take a break. All right, Hannah. Same exercise. Let's start off the left. You'll know that you with any sort of like gymnastic, like this is the most basic form, the first time when she kind of leapt in, you see the first thing the horse did was change lead, because as it was reaching, it got a little bit crooked. If you get that nice sort of more snug distance with a bit more of a canter, and they maintain the correct lead, you've just made their life easy enough that they were able to stay straight, yeah, that they weren't on a big reach for it. Because obviously the first thing you do is when you're really reaching is you're probably going to go to one side or another. So if you can feel like the horse maintained the lead through something like that, it's a good sign. It means you probably were a bit more accurate, yeah? Good, Hannah. Just get a nice number. You'll probably get 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Nice, nice. I want you a little bit, Hannah, that you're almost suspending your body weight through your stirrups a little bit more this time, okay? Yep, just do a transition. Yep, good. That you sort of are pushing your weight down through your stirrups a little more. There, and be patient. Yeah, she's like, yeehaw, let's go. All right, let's be really brave here and let's see if we can't make 6 happen. I know you've got your work cut out for you, but that's okay. So right now think, how can I get this horse to compress, oh, compress. 1, 2, 3. Oh, you would have had it too. So let's go ahead and change direction and let's go for 6 the other way. So she waited, which was good, but remember, when you use the reins, like she's saying, come back, you also have to support from underneath, because if you just hit the brakes and the revs power down, you lose your power, yeah? Let's try and get 6, and the idea is you almost got to scoop her a little bit. Does that make sense? You got to scoop when you compress. You can't just pull on the reins and otherwise you're just sort of turning the key off. We don't want to do that. Scoop her a little for 6. Oh. Ah, almost. Well done. Go to your little bounce here, Hannah. That was a good ride, though. It was better. That's more what we want, yeah? Okay. All right. Hannah, just get one more. Now, I like this horse because she's game to the fence. Let's do our bounce one more time. And if you feel like her heart rate starts to go up, just let the fence come to you. Just let the fence come to you. Yeah, that a girl. Take a break. Bonnie, let's give this exercise a go off the left. So if you've got a horse that's a bit game to the jump, I imagine I'm like almost on a treadmill and the horse is cantering in place and then the jumps are like coming down the line. Because otherwise, on a horse that's game, you even think like you want to get there, and a lot of times they'll amplify that. And we want to sometimes on a more game horse is just stay still and let them use that energy productive, but not go overboard. Because otherwise they'll get flat and fast, which is what we don't want. Good, Hannah. Nice. Yeah, when she's game like that, it's not that you have to do less, you just have to stay still, pretty much. That's okay. Good. Nice 5. Bonnie, just do your best to use the space a little bit better so that this bottom turn doesn't feel so tough. You got a little bit more real estate down there. I know they're a little suspicious of the people, but just train him and say, no, it's okay. You can use the space. Good. Let's try and get a little 6 here. I know he's a little fresh this morning. That's okay. He's like, yeah, right. I got a huge stride. Bonnie, go ahead and go across your arena somewhere and change direction. And what I might do is, if he's kind of holding you to ransom down the end of the ring, stay in trot here so that when you go through there, you can kind of get your right leg on him and just tell him, hey, come on. Because as we go on with our ride today, we're going to have to get access to that side of the arena. Yeah, that's okay. That's okay. Yeah, good. Good. And now find your right canter and let's carry on. Good job. Well, yeah, don't be naughty. Don't be naughty, boy. Good. Do a transition. Well done. Well handled. Good. Good. Just do a circle here again and go back to where you want to go. And we're going to be mindful of that he gets a little fresh there. This won't last forever. Yep, this won't last forever. He'll run out of gas. Good. Now be tactful, and when you're ready, find your right canter transition. Just be tactful. Good. Yeah, there you go. Good timing. Now you got the canter. Now you're okay. Good. And then let's go down our line. You know, like having fresh horses this time of year, it's part of the deal, isn't it? You just got to manage it as best you can. You got 6. Well done. So I would try my best to not have to do a tight turn, because to me, behind, when he looks tight behind the saddle, the tight turn makes it worse. I would don't try to protect him from that end. Teach him that he's got to go there and that you can get access to that. Step a little to your left stirrup. That's okay. It's okay. It's okay. Good. We're going to repeat the exercise one more time, Bonnie. A little bit, sometimes you get a bit obsessed with turning the nose in, and what ends up happening is he falls out and he starts to scramble, and I think it almost makes it a bit worse. I actually think you keep the horse a little bit straighter so that he's a bit more upright, and then his hind legs aren't kind of scrambling, and he doesn't have as much reason to kind of go, oh, I'm out of here, yeah? Otherwise, he's kind of like a car doing a skid. Try to make him a little bit more like you're going to support him on the outside. I know there's the monkey business and stuff going on, but I think you'll find he'll get less panicked. Let's go right canter. Just go large around the outside of the ring. And when you go through that turn down there, think about turning him from the outside rather than just from the inside. Okay? Try that and see if he feels a little bit more secure down there. So pick up your canter here when you're ready. He just needs to feel a little bit more secure behind. There you go. So think about bringing him around from the outside. Yeah, you feel how he's a little bit more balanced there? Do you feel the difference? Yeah. Yep. Good. Fix your canter, get your balance back, go around, go large again, and let's do the bounce one more time. A little bit more of an accurate distance in. Do you feel how he doesn't feel quite so scrambly when you ride him like that? Yeah. Yeah, support him. There you go. There you go. Now ride to your jump. That's a go. Much better. Yeah, and then he was gymnastic. Notice too, again, with the right lead the whole way through because she got a little deeper. Good, Bonnie, take a break. He'll come around here in 5 minutes. He's just happy. All right, Kate, let's give this a go. Yeah, we gotta remember it. Turning and our bends aren't just about left and right. You also have to think where the horse's balance is, this way, yeah? So if they get on the inside balance too much and the inside rein is the heavier of the two reins, what you end up with is the horse will slide to the outside. A, it makes it harder to be straight, and B, if you get to a jump like that, you don't have as much power because the horse isn't the power is not focused, it's sliding, okay? Good. I didn't see it because Bonnie's horse, but I think you got 6, I'm guessing. This horse doesn't look like he has the world's biggest step. Show me a beautiful 6 again here, Kate. And I really want you to think about just having that security in your lower leg. Body stays tall. Yeah, that's okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now show me you can do 5, but I don't want it to feel like kamikaze. I just want you to try to get your first pole off a nice stride so that the work is kind of done. You don't have to go fast yet. Just look at the pole. Now just try to catch it off a nice step. Not bad. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Not bad, Kate. Not bad at all. Let's do a transition. Let's change direction and let's go the other way. And let's do 6 off the right and then you go to your little bounce. Looks good, mate. If I'm going to start splitting hairs and being very critical, one thing I would, she's like, go for it. The one thing I would say is that I like how you ride sort of light, but have control of your upper body, that if you need to be a bit taller, you can, that you're not sort of one-dimensional with your upper body. Yeah? Good. Weight down through your heel. That's a girl. Steady 6. Control the straightness. 1, 2, 3, 4. You squeaked it in. Good girl. Nice. Let's go to our little bounce. Well ridden. Good. Yeah, super. Okay, I think you can feel, if you were me, I think you know what I'd say to you. Yeah, in that you need to get a little bit closer to the base of the jump. Yep. Just do a transition. That's okay. That's okay. Good. Yeah. You want to get to the base of the jump so that bounce doesn't feel so far away. Atta girl. It's another demonstration of when she gets a good shot, the horse was much more comfortable. It was much more within the horse's scope. All right, Kathleen, let's give that a go. Good, Kate. Nice. Nice. We're just knocking off the rust here at the beginning. Yeah, he looks amped. He's absolutely amped, ready. This horse has a good canter. Awesome. Yeah, well done. 1, 2, 3, 4. Got a big scope. So for you, the 5 is actually a little compressing, isn't it? Yeah, so just try that again and just get a little bit of a more of a compressed 5. Oh yeah. Jelly beans. Jelly beans. Good. And just bring your shoulders. Oh. That's okay. Almost. Transition. Good. Just do a couple trot transitions. Trot transition, canter transition. Trot transition, canter transition. Just to kind of make sure you have, you know how he's kind of a little fresh behind? Just do a circle here, Kathleen, around this first exercise. And just do a couple downward and then back to canter. Downward, back to canter. He's just fresh. There you go. Canter left. Just try to get him to take a little bit of half a breath. I feel better about this now. I feel better about you getting 5 now. Yeah, good. Yeah, that's fine. That's totally fine. He was almost like a balloon that's a little bit overinflated, and then you try to do something on that, and they kind of lock you out. You want to feel like you can kind of, yeah. Now I think you're going to get your 5, no problem. Oh, now steady. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Atta girl. Atta girl. Good. When you're ready, let's change direction, Kathleen. Let's go the other way. The other interesting thing too is you've got a horse that's a bit fresh and feels like it might give you a little bit of excitement. Remember, they use the same muscles going from trot to canter as they do to hump or buck. So that transition, like trot into canter, it really helps make them do the thing that they kind of are holding back that they might want to do, but you can kind of get through it with something constructive. You see how he's kind of like holding his breath and he's a little fresh behind? So that's when I would do those like transitions to try to help. That's okay. Let's do that one more time until he takes a little bit more of a breath. He's still just a little defensive there. I don't want him to go through the bounce and then really light up, yeah? There you go. Good. Little bounce now. Shoulders say, hey, come on, dude. Wait for me. You got it. Oh. See how the horse then stayed on the lead too? You could tell he was better. Okay, go to your bounce now. I think you look good. Good, straight. Good, grab a little mane if you need. Yeah, nice. Nice. And we'll go it one more time just to bounce on its own. I think then he'll look pretty good. Good. That's it. That's it. I like this better. Yeah, good. That's okay. That's okay. Good. Take a break. Okay, Alison, I think it's you. Looks good, mate. He's a lovely horse. I remember now. I like this horse, yeah. So the horse has a good canter. You might say, well, what do you mean? Like, what makes that canter good? It's not just the fact that he has obviously a pleasant, like, expressive sort of stride. You want the canter to have an overall feeling like it goes more uphill than downhill, right? And you'll feel the difference. When a horse is kind of just a little bit either going flat or down, it's more work when you want to put them together. A horse that has this just natural inclination to be a little bit more up than down, when you shorten those horses, it tends to be easier. It feels like they can compress a little bit more on their own. That doesn't mean they're going to be able to right out of the box collect, but you don't have that struggle. With a horse that goes a little bit this way in canter, it's really hard work to teach them to do that, just because anatomically it's not easy for them. Okay, so you got 6 right off the get-go. Good job. I want to see you just get a real nice 5. It won't take much. All you got to do is just let him cover the ground a fraction more. Yeah, I would always pick horses for myself that had naturally a little bit, I want to have that feeling in canter. Yeah, just gently cover the ground. So he's still just kind of squeaking in that last little mini stride. I want you now, like, imagine that the first pole is like an oxer. That's kind of how I want you to ride to the first one. That's the only thing I want you to do differently. And see if that gets you the 5. So imagine this is a little oxer here. Yeah, ride to it. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Beautiful 5 strides. Well done. Okay, Alison, let's change direction. And then we're going to get 6 going the other way. Good job. Yeah, pick horses with a good canter because basically the canter is what you build the jump on, right? So it's what delivers the jump a bit. So very, very rarely does a horse with a terrible canter have a great jump. that it has happened. I have seen some horses that will just, it doesn't add up, but most of the time, horses that have a really good jump normally have a good canter, just because they're already in that position to be able to coil. Good. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, 5.5, huh? I think 5 and 1 leg over the pole. So let's see if we can't get when you're trying to compress, now that his stride's starting to open up, you've got to get the work done early in the line. So think like you're going to make the 6 happen in here. Oh, now make the 6 happen now. Now you've done it. Does that make sense? You don't want to leave all your work to the very end. Right canter, let's go to our little bounce here, Alison. Grab a little mane if you need. Alison, you were the only one out of the group that got the good ride the first go. Well done. Let's get one more just to make sure it wasn't a fluke. Good. Hey, nice old horse, this guy. Good. Yeah, he's a good boy. There you go. Yep. Just let it come to you and go with him. That's okay. You're fine. You're rocking it. You're rocking it. All right, take a break. Take a break. All right, is that everybody through there, girls? They feel a little bit more normal now, hopefully. Okay, so let's shift our attention to these little diamond exercises. Daniel, can we just roll these poles back into the wall, please? So I like these diamond exercises, and the reason why we're doing them today is because it's going to test 2 things, and very important things in my eyes. One is the straightness, okay, that the horses are able to maintain a straight line under their own power with you helping them. And also 2, that we're introducing the idea of them landing on the correct lead because that minimizes the work you have to do in between fences. So your line is going to be on an angle as opposed to straight on. And don't worry, if your horse hasn't done a lot of angled stuff, the first one will be small. Once they kind of understand what's going on here, they figure it out pretty fast, even if they're pretty green. Now, if you come in on a big, wild, crazy ride, then maybe not. But most of the time, the canter poles sort of help assist to get them through here. So your goal is on whatever direction you come at one of these, is early on off the turn, you've got to try to find that runway where it's the center of the pole to the center of the jump to the center of the pole. One little thing that can mess you up with this exercise, if you get lazy and cut in, all of a sudden this distance gets very short. Or if you bow out too far, that starts to feel pretty long, right? Because obviously from here to here is much longer than from here to here, okay? So just be aware of that. As straight as you can really helps. As you go over the jump, what I'm looking for is that when you want the horse to stay straight but land on the new lead, so if you're coming off the right, grabbing the left, you don't do this, okay? You don't do this. You don't do a combination of it. Because as soon as your balance goes left, even though that may feel like what will help, what ends up happening is horses will counter your balance. So if you go this way, what you've actually done is you've allowed the horse shoulder to go that way, right? It's like when you're trying to get the correct lead on a racehorse and you lean and you lean and you lean and they just keep going to the outside. It makes your life almost impossible. Everybody felt that, experienced that, right? So what I would like you to do is try to keep your spine in alignment with their spine and take your inside rein, your new inside rein, which in this case would be the left, and just widen it a little bit. Yeah, same release, everything's the same, but just show them the way. Open the door for the shoulder to go this way rather than escape out the outside, and you'll have a much higher chance of success, okay? So here's what I'd like you to do here. Lydia, you're going to be our brave leader again, hey? We're going to start by this diamond every time. We're going to be doing, no, other way. We're going to do this direction to start, okay? So you'll be coming off the left. I know that turn feels like it's going to be really tight. If you ended up in trot or something back there, it's not the end of the world. I don't care. They'll still be able to develop the canter through here, no problem. So you're going to go through this way. You're going to go round the arena, and then you're going to make a turn and go to your little purple and white one coming back this direction. So it's like a figure eight, yeah? And I'll make this an X to start with just so that they understand. I do that so that they're going to come in and be like, why are we doing it at this angle? This is weird. Once they understand that, they should be fine. And I want to repeat this a couple times, and I'm looking for you to successfully get from the left lead to the right lead, and then down that end from the right lead to the left lead. Again, if they go into the turns and the corners and they don't quite hold the canter and they go to the trot, don't worry about it. Just make sure you establish a straight line. We don't have tons of room in here, so we just have to be mindful of that. The exercise will still work though, okay? And then as for the other guys that aren't going, obviously you're safe anywhere in the middle as long as they can get around you, okay? All right. I actually think Lydia's looks pretty brave. I think we're going to keep that as a vertical. I think she's going to be fine. If they felt like they were a bit green at the first one, just repeat it. Like, so if they come in here and they get a bit green and they're like, oh, what's this? We'll do it again, and then they should be fine. But I do this exercise even with young horses, and normally once they kind of see it once, they're normally pretty good. Okay? Any questions about this? Everyone's got this? You've probably done it before at some point. The diamond exercise. Good. Such a cute little pony. Good. Try to use the space as best you can, Lydia. Start looking and finding out where is it you're trying to get to. That's a girl. Good. Well done. Carry on. Make sure you don't cut your turns because it's going to make your life really hard, okay, if you cut them. Yeah. What a good girl. All right, continue. So you're 2 for 2 right now. You're 2 for 2. Good. Eyes up. Now find a straight line. That's a little better. Good. Eyes up, Lydia. You don't need to look down at your reins. You can feel what's going on. The one thing is, if like she's got a little nippy horse. All right. So Lydia, take a walk there for a second. The only thing, you've got your leads good and she's being such a good girl for you. The only thing is I think her life is made unnecessarily a bit harder by just kind of not really using the space down the bottom. And then you've got to kind of turn, and you had to chuck her at that one, didn't you? Whereas if you'd covered an extra, say, 20 feet, she would have been able to have turned, seen the jump, and it would have felt a lot easier. So go that way, find right canter, repeat the second one, and just remember, the more space you use in the turn, like down there, the more time you have to the fence. And the more, especially, the more time they have to figure out what to do. And like you guys on the taller horses are not going to be able to get away with that. So she's got the little Maserati, so she's lucky. All right, so I want you to go around where I'm standing here so that we give her a little bit more of an easy time. Good, so think about balancing the canter like we talked about earlier. Yeah, that's okay. Balance the canter. Good. Oh, she shot out a little too far. So Lydia, when you turned, you kind of got a big giant skid there, didn't you? Yeah. Again, let's repeat the exercise one more time. Yeah, it's okay. Yeah, that's fine. Whatever. Get your right canter and come and repeat this again. So now you've got to turn the horse without doing a giant skid down here. Yeah, so take a little bit of responsibility of the canter. So balance and turn. Yeah. That's okay. Good. It's tough, isn't it? Yeah. Good. Take a break. All right, Hannah, let's give this a go. So if you just kind of turn and burn, it kind of feels a bit messy, doesn't it? That's part of it, right? It's not so much like, this is almost more a dressage exercise than it is a jumping exercise, which is what I tend to stick with when I'm stuck indoors too at this time of year. It's less boring than doing dressage, but it's still working on the same ideas, yeah? Yes. I don't care what anyone says. Good dressage is exciting. Mediocre dressage is terrible. Good, Hannah. That's it. I like how you're really giving yourself a good chance here. Well done. That's okay. That's okay. That's okay. Good. Carry on. Carry on. Just need a little bit more power once you get the turn finished, don't you? She just drifted a tiny bit right there. Did you feel that? All right, so let's get a little bit more power out of the turn and then a little bit straighter on the landing. Good. So bring the outside and push. Atta girl. Nice. Good for you. Think about balancing the horse. Well done. Weight down through your heel. Good. And squeeze. Nice. Good, Hannah. Take a break. Good. Nice. All right, Kathleen, let's give this a go. Let's shake it up. Good, Hannah. That's good, eh? It's hard work. You've got to really have them sort of be organized, don't you? The other thing I do too here is if they're having a hard time getting him to go out in the turn, I just step a little bit to my outside stirrup, right there, and then straight. That's okay. He's like, what the heck? That's fine. Good. Carry on. I think he'll be okay. You're all right, big guy. You're okay, big guy. Good. Let's give him a little cluck here. It's okay, dude. He's more just suspicious about the landing pole, isn't he? Yeah, just let him do that 2 more times. He's just figuring out that there's no trick to it. Good. That's a girl. Little bit more of a squeeze when you get to this first pole. Yeah, squeeze now. There you go. Yeah, good boy. Give him a pat. Well ridden. He's just trying to figure out that he's not going to land in a situation, you know. Good. And just a little cluck now. Yeah, good boy. All right, 2 more, and then we'll leave him alone. Good. He should be a little bit more confident on these. Yes. Good boy. Good boy. That he's going to land right at the center. Good. Pat him. Give him a break there, Kathleen. I think he's a little bit weary of that pole with the sun and stuff being on the other side. It's like illuminated. He's great. That's perfect. That's what I would expect for him, being a little bit greener. Okay, Allison. Let's give this a go. Good job. He looks better. He looks even better than the last time I saw him, I think, in a lot of ways. A little more, just a little bit more like he's seen a little bit more. Like he's a little more, yeah, I think so, yeah. Yeah, no, and not as strong. Yeah, exactly. Good job. Good job. Good, Allison. Okay, so just the thing there was, Allison, you're just a little bit too quiet to it. He has to use a fair bit of energy. Coming back across the arena, let's come and do this first one again. And just, you've got to give him a bit more support to the pole. so that it's not such a reach for him, okay? Otherwise, you'll get to taking off and it'll feel like, oh, it's like this huge effort. Don't think so much go faster, but definitely close him up to that gap there. Good. So right about now, you need to squeeze. Yeah, good. Good. All right, next one. Just so that he's not like having to really, really reach for it. Good. Yeah, you overshot your turn, hey? Yeah, that's okay. Don't panic there, but yeah, this is where you would have to be a little bit more aware of what's coming. And to me, if you were in a car and you were going around a 35-mile-an-hour turn, you were going into the turn at 50, yeah? You got to balance first, get through the turn, and then ride forward, rather than just gunning it way back there. So here's where you've got to compress. Look, 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 look. And here's where you ride forward. Yeah, good girl. Well done. Well done. You're doing fantastic. Repeat. Yeah, you got a downshift, upshift, yeah? Downshift, upshift. Yeah, now you're getting it. Same thing here. I know your heart rate's going up a little here. This control, downshift, look, and upshift. That's a girl. You're doing fine. Well done. Take a break, Alison. You're riding great. Good job. Good. Okay, Kate, let's give this a go. Yeah, sorry. Sorry, I know I hate to make you guys stand around, but it's just going to be easier to do this one at a time than have mayhem. Good, that's it. Come on, Sparky. He's like, what's this? Good, so he just needs a tiny bit more ground coverage so that becomes easy for him. Good, I know it comes up a little fast. That's okay, that's okay. We need a bit of a cleaner ride to the canter pole. So here, I want you to just chill a little here. Chill, turn, and then ride forward. It's more the idea. Obviously, that second pole feels a little far away just because he came in trot and he has a little bit of a smaller step. That's better. Keep in your canter. Now, just try to get this balance here. So we've got to help him come underneath you. We've got to find the line, and then you can ride to it. Does that make sense? I know it comes up quickly, and I know it doesn't feel like you have much room, but you can do it, yeah? One more. And Bonnie, I think it's just you, right? Good, he's clever. Good. Awesome. Take a break. Take a break, Kate. Well done. Good. Good job. You know, the thing is that imagine there was no jumps in here and this was just an open arena. If I asked you to do a 15-meter circle at sea, at canter, you wouldn't even think about it. You just do it, right? So that turn is actually not that bad. It's just when you start adding the jumps in the mix, it's easy to get excited. It's easy for the horse to get excited. But ultimately, the turn itself is more than fair enough to balance from, right? So we're just teaching them that. And that's actually one good thing about being inside for a while when it is cold and the weather sucks is they sort of have to become a little bit more rideable in a small space. Then you get into the open ring and you're like, whew, feels huge. Yeah. Good. Balance. And squeeze. See, he just kind of got a little bit dead in that shorter turn. So he just needs to, like I was saying to, was it Hannah and Kate, you just have to get some bit more, Alison, a little bit more power out of your turn. So it's fine for him to trot in, but he can't die when he gets to the first part. He's got to almost energize. So here's where you take care of him, and here's where you energize. Otherwise, it feels really far away. Does that make sense? You're kind of surviving on this can that's just a little bit one-dimensional. You've got to be able to compress it and make it have power, not just get longer, right? That's a little bit what's happening. Sometimes with him, because he's hard to kind of get him energized, you let him forward right? You release him forward, and what ends up happening is he gets really long and flat. It's got to be more like if you were in a dressage test and you're going from working canter to medium canter, you don't just lengthen the reins, right? You make them go like this way. That's the feeling you want to have. It's like when you're in a boat and you give it some throttle. This feeling, yeah? Good. That's it. And it's put power. That's more the idea, Bonnie. That's more the idea. Use your turn just a little bit deeper, just so you've got a little bit more time. Good. So there, we're going to balance, we're going to turn, and we're going to squeeze. Yeah, but you got to get that turn done without just pulling on the inside rein now, yeah? Like we talked about earlier, he's got to turn a bit from the outside. Otherwise, he just does a donut. Good. Use the outside. Bring him around. Bring him around. Fight for it. Fight for it. Yeah, it's okay. Carry on. This is why we're practicing this. Keep going. Now, balance in the turn. Find the line. And push. Better. Now we need that feeling here in this turn, the harder one. It's okay. You're all right. So the key is you've got to be able to turn from the outside. Keep him cantering. Let's go. Bonnie, you're not done yet. Canter on. Canter on. He can have a break, and you can have a break when you do the job. Come on. Good. Good. So a little bit deeper in that turn. Get the line, and then push. You got it. Balance. Okay, take a break. So again, this is where it really starts to be, it really shows you that if you only turn this way and the shoulder escapes, you lose all your straightness. It's a tough turn. Okay, is that everybody through that? You're doing fine there, but I think you can start to really feel how, only turning him with the inside rein starts to become a problem. It's a tough exercise, don't get me wrong. It's not easy, but if he learns to balance from the outside as well, he'll be much more maneuverable, yeah? Good. Good. All doing okay here? All right. So let's put a few of these together here. We're going to change it up. Let's see. Allison, you're going to be the leader now. So we're going to start by going, let's see. We're going to start by going off the left canter. We're going to do what we just did. This exercise this way, down around the bottom there, the purple and white going this way, back up this way. Then we're going to go left to our bounce going this direction. Okay? So through our bounce. And then we're going to travel a stride or two to about here. And then we're going to turn in and go to our diamond going this way. So just make sure you don't turn too early, yeah? If you turn way back there, you're going to be getting ready for Kentucky because you're going to be on an angle like this, and that's what we don't want. So you've got to go straight for a little bit, and then you see how you're on the line now? That's when you want to be straight. You're going to pop through this, and then we'll finish by going to the right, make that turn, and then come up here and pop over your little oxer. Okay, so it's the first diamond, the second diamond, the bounce with the very patient turn, and then the oxer to finish. You got it. Lydia, just do me a favor and maybe move your little pony up beside where Kate is, just so that she has a little bit more room there. Perfect. Perfect. Just do a circle of trot or so, just to kind of get him moving again there, Alison. I'm not going to say a number in there because I don't want you thinking so much about a number. I want you more just making sure you stay patient and don't let them. They're going to want to just turn left, and so you're going to really have to, and you're going to have to present that jump to them because they may not be expecting to go to that. So you have to sort of also hold them well too. Good girl. Nice job. That's okay. You're okay. Girls, just move out of the way there so she's got a little bit more space down the bottom there. There you go. Looking. Come on, push. Yeah. That's awesome. Oh my God. All right, your oxer, give him a little cluck here as he takes off. Yeah, come on, you've got to get that last one. Hey. Good job. You survived. Well done. I got to say, actually, I know you ended up on the wrong lead going down to that, you did the bounce and you went to the purple and you were on the wrong lead and it kind of felt a little tough to get the turn. I got to say, I was very impressed with the fact that you stayed very disciplined about not letting him cut in on that line. And that actually did you a favor, because when he was on the wrong lead, so when they're on the wrong lead and they're going around, their stride gets much longer because they can't shorten as much, right? Because they're going blah, 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 blah. If you had cut any sooner than that, that jump would have come up a bit odd. But the fact you were so strict about waiting to get that line that you had visioned, actually you turned it into a really nice jump. It was awesome. You did scream, "Oh my God," as you jumped it, but that's okay. No, you did great. And I think with him, this is really important for you, is just always be instilling in all the horses that you ever ride that the jump has a beginning and an end before the fence and after the fence, and that you have to maintain straightness from each of those points. It's not just when you get to the jump, you get straightish and then away you go, because you won't get as good quality a jump. And then if you are taking them eventing or something like that, you want to start to teach them the idea of being able to jump something that's a little skinnier or something that's on an angle or whatever. And they don't learn to be disciplined on that if you don't set that standard from the beginning. Does that make sense? They've got to be straight to a pole that's 12 foot wide at 90 degrees before they can learn to be straight to something that's offset or that's skinny, whatever. So I'm always really, for us, it's much more, for eventers, it's even more poignant that we do that because we have that challenge later down the line cross country. Kate, you ready? Let's give this a go. Again with him, maybe give him a little trot circle just so he gets moving, so he feels like he's not like stiff. Good job though, mate. You rode well. Good job. I know your heart rate was going a little higher there at one point. That's okay. You did fine. You did fine. Yeah, make sure that he doesn't power down on you in that critical moment, because otherwise the jump will feel very far away, yeah? Just give him a little cluck too if he needs. Sometimes that's helpful. Yep, push. There you go. Much better. Okay, so it's bounce to our purple. Be disciplined. Nice. Be disciplined and squeeze. Okay, that's all right. That's all right. Right as he got here and he got on that little awkward step, yeah, and he kind of got short, that felt a really long way away, and ever so slightly the shoulder was going towards the door too. If you need to correct it, right, like I know that it was never going to be a real great jump because of the distance, but I would have liked to have seen your left hand go here instead of go here, because otherwise it just makes it easier for him to slide out. Let's go off our left rein and let's come and do our bounce again. And even if this distance doesn't come up perfect, you're going to guide the straightness more than use the left brake pedal. Good. That's it. That's it. Be disciplined. Now guide the straightness. Little tap. Yeah, good for you. Oxer. Get out of your way. Awesome, Kate. Good. Take a break. Take a break. You feel there's a little bit of a challenge there. Like he challenged you on the straightness because he was thinking about pushing right. And he challenged you on the fact that you went straight turn and then there was a jump. and you had to kind of push him. But that's good. I want to find those little things because ultimately we're trying to get them to learn. If we are always holding up our end of the bargain and we give them power to the fence and they go straight, they got to learn that sometimes the turns do come up a little quicker and they just got to trust us. Like it's good. So that's good. I like that he pushed back on you a little bit there and you were immediately there to go, no, come on. And then he jumped beautiful. Yeah, good job. Awesome. Okay, Lydia, let's give this a go. It's amazing how if you just get a little creative, you can make 4 little jumps in your indoor challenging, can't you? And honestly, that to me, early on in the season when they haven't been doing tons of stuff, I would want my exercise to be kind of like this. Like, they're a little challenging. You're working on ideas, staying straight, being able to hold a turn, being able to, deal with the little bit of wriggliness that they have so that we're kind of, that was just kind of a hot mess there, Lydia. Let's go back and let's just say to ourselves, if we weren't in the jump saddle and there were no jumps and I was teaching a dressage lesson, that was the world's worst attempt at trying to go from trot to canter. So I want you to put that back together and I want you to think we're going to ride well. We're going to be doing a bit of dressage. We're going to ride a dressage transition and canter. It was remarkably better. Good. Good. Good, okay. So let's go ahead and fix our canter. Let's fix our canter now. Don't wait too long. Right canter. Good girl. Good job. Good. Control the outside. Well done. So this is a new turn here, so be ready to just catch her if she needs it. Good. And get her on the line. Nice. She drifted a little bit left there at the end, but that's okay. Fix your canter. Good. And then oxer. All right. Not bad. Not bad at all. All right, Kathleen, let's give that a go. Good. Not bad there. Yeah, just you remember too, like they don't know the difference what saddle you have on. So try to recognize that all your stuff you're asking for, it all has a common theme because that will give you the most improvement, right? If every transition you try to ever ride, regardless of whether you're in here or you're out on the trail, it'll help make things better quicker, yeah? Good job. Nice riding. That's fine. And that would be exactly why having a canter pole on a greener horse would be helpful, because he's able to make that little mistake and still figure it out. Yeah? Yeah, good job. Now, my guess is, Kathleen, he may be green to the purple one this time. He may get there and freeze up a little bit, so just be ready to give him a little support here. Yeah. I think right about here he's going to get a little green. Little tap maybe. Yeah, that's okay. That's okay. Just, figure out your canter. Do a circle if you need. Good. And then we'll go to our oxer and then we'll repeat that line again. I was pretty certain he was going to be a little bit backed off, but we need to try to just clean that up a little now. He's got to get a little bit more in front of your leg here. Yeah, squeeze him up to this one. Yeah, come on. Yeah, good. Let's go to this line again. Good. That's enough. Now you're good. Now you're good. Good. And then to your oxer. Good. Now you should just have to squeeze him now. You probably won't have to get after him. Good. Carry on. Let's repeat it one more time just until we get rid of those little shuffles that he has. Good. Good. Pat him. Good boy. Oxer. Good. You got it. And just a little cluck now. Yeah, good boy. Perfect. Perfect. Good. The questions were just coming up a little bit quicker than his brain wanted to like calculate. So he just wants to kind of hold back and hold his breath for a second. But he's a good boy. He just is like, oh, another one, another, oh my God. And he's just in that phase still where he's just still a little bit green.
Really funny about like.
Yeah, I could.
Like, what's there?
Right, yeah. And it was both, as the sun has gotten higher, it's happened so that the landing poles have been the ones that have been really bright. And I mean, any horse is a little bit careful. All my horses would have been the same way. Like, what's that? Is that a trap? Is that a ditch? What is that? All right. Bonnie. So let's go. So we're just trying to work, especially the hardest turn for you is that bottom one, because he likes to drag you out towards the door. So that's where you're going to have to work the hardest on making sure you bring the shoulders around. But everything else should be fine. Oh, watch out there, Alison. Oh, she's going to do a circle. Good. So think about steering from the left and then riding forward. I want to repeat those again. It still just hasn't quite come off for us. The idea you had was good. The turn was too short, though. He was just too stuck in the turn. Good. Good. Excellent. Just try to create a little bit more space than what you had on the last go. I know it's tough. Good. Bring him from the outside and push. Yeah, better. Come on. There. Good. Let's go bounce to our purple now, Bonnie. Almost there. Looking. Good boy. He really did his job for you there, Bonnie. He was very good. Oxer. Good. Squeeze. Good boy. Awesome. Good job. Good job. Really good. Okay, give him a break there. Well done. I know it still feels a little bit like tough to get the last part of the turn done, but he did his job there. He was really good there. Really, really good for you. Took you there. Good job. Hannah, is it you still got to go, right? Good boy. Uh-oh. Like I had a couple in my pocket yesterday, but the horses stole them all. So a big thing you want to always be thinking about, Hannah, when you're working on your balance is I always think about like my spine being the same alignment as their spine, right? So especially when you go over the fence and land, really think about being in the correct alignment. Not bad at all. Not bad at all. Well done. Oh, that was... I think we know that turn was a little wild, huh? Okay, let's start over. Let's fix our canter. Let's fix our canter. Because right now yep, good. Good. So... yeah, and the problem is that if you make it too tight, you just have no options. Now, she was a good girl and jumped it for you, but it's got to be a little bit easier for her there to get herself settled. So just gather the canter a little, kind of like what you were doing when you wanted to do 6 strides earlier in the beginning. So that here. Yeah, now you can find the line. Straight. You don't need a gunner. You don't need a gunner. Good. Carry on. Let's go bounce to our purple. Steady. We're not gunning her. You've got to stay rideable. Good. Balance. Yeah, well done. Well done. Oxer. Good. Not bad. Not bad. You could sort of see, though, if you compare one turn to another, the horse likes to push against her right leg, and then obviously your right leg is the weaker of the two. So a few of you probably experienced that, where one turn was kind of easy to get done and the other one felt kind of hard, like the car wanted to go off the road, that's normal, completely normal. All your horses will be a bit one-sided. I would say most horses tend to drift more left than not. And the reason for that is more people are right-handed and their right leg is also more dominant. So it's normally the left, but some horses also push right. It just depends. When you're trying to address that, I did mention it earlier, yeah, they all went through this exercise totally fine, and I think that they all landed on the correct lead pretty well because this exercise helps set that up. But don't forget what I was saying about when you're asking for the correct lead, about not trying to tip with your body and using that little bit of an open rein idea. And the open rein is also really effective to try to help correct the drift. So when the horses drift, they sometimes drift in different ways. Most of the time, horses will tend to drift from the jump to the landing. They like to jump across and over. Some horses, especially if they're compensating for something, they'll drift on that very last stride on the takeoff. So when you're trying to correct that, the easiest way to do it is using your open rein, but you can also utilize like a landing pole, like a train track. I'm sure you've probably seen that before, where you put a pole, like let's say we were jumping this oxer and they were drifting left all the time. You can grab a pole and put it perpendicular to the jump and lay it on the ground here. Obviously you have to use some judgment. You don't want them to drift and end up on the pole. So normally what I do is I would start it like out here somewhere, and then if the horse was cool with that, then you can roll it in a little. But it can also really have a good effect on teaching them to jump straight and not have to be fighting to jump away from your hand. It's just something to bear in mind. The other thing too is I like to bring dressage exercises into this kind of stuff. So, for example, we had this same thing set up, Kate. Imagine, just say you left this set up for a week. What you could do is isolate another exercise, like say we use just that bottom diamond, and then when you jump through the diamond and you're on your way coming around this way, is throwing in some transitions. Like say I'm going to do a transition to trot here, canter here, trot here, canter here, and then get to the next one. Or say I'm going to throw in a 15-meter circle at the end and I'm going to do some counterflexion on the circle and then carry on. Like stuff like that helps start to train them that they jump a jump and things don't just automatically change gears. A lot of people struggle with when they go to a show and they go in the ring is they've warmed up beautiful, they've stood around, they say, all right, number 259, in you go in, salute to the judge, horse is cantering beautiful, they jump the first jump beautiful, but things just start to roll on from there, yeah, and they get more and more and more and more. And by the end, you've lost that kind of composure and it starts to feel like it gets a little bit away from you. And most of that is because the horse gets a little excited, but as it gets a bit excited, the rideability starts to just disappear. So I'm always trying to teach them, hey, I might be able to do 2-3 things, and then I might actually ask you to half halt again. And you'll be surprised. Sometimes we'll go to do that, and the half halt that was working perfectly fine 3 jumps ago works half as well now. And it's just because they get excited. But what you can do is you can start to chip away at that stuff and just get them a little bit more secure, being able to do stuff even though the jumps kind of get them amped up. And that's a really important part of being able to establish a rhythm. What I'll also do too is, I think we talked about this with you guys that were with me last time, about my chunk technique. All right, the chunk technique is breaking your course up into chunks. So let's say your average show jump course at like beginner, novice is probably going to have 11 jumps on it, right? So 9 times out of 10, if the course isn't designed by a kindergarten person, it's going to have kind of a flow to it where like jump 1 to jump 2 is kind of related with a bit of space, and then there'll be like a big turn, and then there'll be 3 to 4, and then maybe around to 5, and then there'll be a turn, and then there'll be the combination 6 with a bending line to another one. You see how there's kind of like some jumps and then there's a little breather, and there's some jumps and there's a little breather. The breather may only be 10 strides, but it gives you a chance to go, okay, if I was at home and I set up a couple different lines, I would sort of think about them like this. I'm going to do the outside line, then I'm going to do this line, and then I'm going to do this bending line. That's how I walk my courses. I kind of have them in 4 chunks, 5 chunks, however it works. And then in between chunks, I give myself a chance to be able to canter or stride away from the jump, take a breath, what's happening with the canter, and carry on. And the reason that this works is for two. One is it keeps your dialogue going as you're writing, because you go, all right, here comes my line. Okay, take a breath, let's carry on. So it stops you from getting tunnel vision like that. The other reason that it works is if anything does go a little wrong, say you come in, you have this perfect plan, you get a little bit of a bad distance or whatever, it stops that from carrying over to the rest. Like you're not just survival mode after that. It helps you sort of go, okay, I'm on the wrong lead here. I'm disunited. Let's get back to the trot. Let's get the new lead and let's give myself a chance to put that behind me. And now it's just one pole down. Okay, that's no big deal. It's one pole. We can move on. Don't let it turn into like this avalanche, because that can be another big issue. And then my other bit of advice for you right now, as far as this time of the year, if you guys have got sort of starting to make your plan for what you want to do this year, and hopefully COVID doesn't mess that up too much, but your goal here right now is to really improve any little niggly things that you noticed. Like go back and look at your results from last year or even the year before, if you need to, and ask yourself, okay, in my dressage, dressage test, what was the theme in my comments? Like, what was the judge telling me? Was I seeing the word tension a lot? Was I seeing the word like impulsion, whatever? These things, you'll get an idea of, okay, where am I losing marks? Where am I leaving marks? Take a look at your cross-country record. Is there an odd 20 in there? Are you going too slow? Are you getting speed faults? These are all things that I want you to start going, okay, I'm going to actually, instead of saying, okay, the reason that went because he got spooked by the umbrella and he took off with me. No, we're going to actually really address the fact, like, no, we got to make sure that we have our control and we start working on it now, because the beauty of being in January is you actually have a little bit of time here. I know you can't get out on a cross-country course, but you can really start to make a good dent in the things you want to work on, so that you don't end up in the middle of the season thinking, dang, I wish I'd started on this earlier. So I'm relaying this to you because this is kind of the mindset I have with mine is, okay, I've got a new, fresh year. The horses are coming back into work. Let's come up with a plan so that we can hopefully get a little bit better closer to our goals this year. I'm a very goal-oriented person, but I think having training goals, and even if they're small, it really helps keep you on the path to improving so you don't hit those plateaus where you just feel like you're stuck. Yeah, and I know it's hard when you're a little bit off the beaten track. You don't have tons of shows up here. It's not like you got shows coming out your backside up here. You got to make them count, right? Because the season's not crazy long. So you've really, more than anybody, you've got to really, try to make them count as best you can. So I think that'll do them for today, guys. That was plenty. I know they're a little cold and a little rusty, but I thought they were great. Was that helpful, guys? You got some ideas? Cool. More than anything, I just want you to have these things like marinating in your mind, because if you're like me, I got to train myself a lot. Like I'm looking in the mirror, or I'm, on my own, and I'm thinking to myself, okay, what am I doing to try to make this better? Because if you just go in and ride around and do circles, that's one thing, but it's not really getting you further down the road, right? That were awesome, guys. Thank you. That was fun. Thanks for coming out and braving the cold. Whew. Good job. Yeah, seize up.